Hello there, this is Softy Gaming. So as you know, Nefir has been released for a couple days. I've been using her in arenas and Tencents and a bunch of places. Try to test her out and get feelings for her. I also recorded a couple of versions of this video but never got satisfied. So she is kind of tricky, like it's hard to give her a fair review because what she does is very unique. And so in this video we're gonna take a look at her skills, do some analysis for her on paper, and then we're gonna take a look at some of the replays using Nefir. Yeah, so Nefir, if you look at her, she is an 18 cost sorcerer. So it's for sorcerer, you're naturally gonna think about the sorcerer team. Yeah, but she's 18 cost. Is almost the second highest cost sorcerer in the game. But what she does, the damage part is not that high. So she does some tricky things. So the most important one is passive. Whenever Nephier sustains fatal damage, she will not die but redirect that damage to an ally and grant ally death resistance for 1 round. Essentially, that means she will not die herself, and an ally will be reduced or certain HP, will not die as well. And also, if you start her up, then whenever that happens, Nefir will gain a shield with 20% of her max HP for 1 round. But note that this effect can only happen once per round, and then she will not get like stacked shield that high. For the unique skills, Nefir will swap the lowest HP percent of an ally partner with the highest HP percent with the enemy partner. If there are no enemy partners or no ally partners, or if your lowest HP is even percentage is even higher than enemy highest HP percent, then you're not gonna swap any HP. You're just gonna increase the damage by 20%. Now the damage is only 160%. Adding 20%, that's gonna be 192%. That's still significantly lower than almost all other sorcerers. The lowest percentage is probably Phoenix here. It's 250%, but Nefir is at max 200%, even lower than 200%. So she's definitely not for dealing damage. She's just for sustaining, healing allies, and potentially cheese kill an enemy, insta kill a very tanky enemy. But that's not always gonna happen because the enemy also have death resistance. They also have like super high, they could have super high damage resistance, and this 160% damage is not gonna be enough to kill them even at a lower HP percentage. But if you start her up to 4-star, you're gonna also reduce the recovery rate of enemy by 30%. Again, it's not that good. If you compare her to Phoenix just negates the heal. Negates the heal means you're reducing their recovery rate by 200%. Now this is only 30%. She also does a very unique thing on her special. Nefir not only deal damage but also heal herself and leader for the HP. The leader part is added by the 6-star effect. So she can sustain a little bit more, but always like special skill is not what you're relying on for that partner, so it won't be too strong even if it requires a lot. But you know, it's like just the same amount of HP. That's fine. That's a fine heal. That's not that, but that's not crazy. All right, so that's about her skills. You want to think about building her, then or like building a team with Nefir, I think if you're using Saucer team, Nefir is gonna compete for the spot that Fanabes have, because all the other sorcerers, Yuffie is the core of Saucer team. You cannot replace Yuffie. Nicola and Hachishiki, they deal the most damage. They are kind of the carries that can like actually damage the leader or kill some enemy partners. That can help you get through the stage. Rutania is simply the most powerful sorcerer. She has tons of buffs whenever there are many partners on the enemy battlefield. You're not gonna be like able to surpass Rutania's damage potential. Like not anyone can do that. So only Fanabes looks a little bit optional, and therefore Nefir can compete for like Fanabes spot. And there are also something similar, like Nefir does have a little bit of countering the recovery thing, plus also, you know, swapping the HP and dealing damage. Essentially, you're bring down the most tanky, probably the most tanky enemy partner, are down by a lot. That's probably also countering some of the healing effects. Yeah, so that's if you're gonna build her in Saucer team, you're probably gonna use her instead of Fanabes. But I would still say like it's not a strict upgrade. It's a trade-off. You're trading off Fanabes is super hard healing counter to a more versatile like cheesy effect or sustain. Now about like I think if you're not restricted to Saucer team, she becomes more valuable. She might become more valuable. Like if you're doing, I think people have some success building her in the stall team. Basically, if you have Ama, you have Angela, you have a bunch of revive and maybe even diamond to bounce the deck, and then you have Nefir that grants that damage resistance whenever your ally is there and your ally is not strong enough, so it won't like any damage won't kill both of Nefir and that ally, and then you might have chance like they will probably recharge their rage and they will use skills. That could be a way to be powerful, but again, still like it's pretty situational. If you're having a bad luck, you will still lose, and in terms of arena, you're probably gonna retry a lot to have her to be there for that golden moment. All right, so now back to like her skill kit. If you're gonna build a team with Nephier already, whatever team that is, who should work with Nephier? Like who should be the anchor that you want to look for that golden moment to swap the HP? That should be some partner that can stabilize at a very low HP percentage. Who can do that? So I think there are two partners that are very good at that. So it's either Gami or Selena. Selena can have 2 death immunity, so she's gonna be able to hold on there. The other one is Gami. Gami can revive, and revive is a very low HP percent, and so those two are the best. If you really want to say something about like the death resistance, Ri is also a okay choice, but it's gonna be a very weird combination, because if you're using Ri as an R unit, you're already lacking damage. Using Nefir is lacking damage again. That's a lot of energy waste, like used for no damage. Alright, I think that's the team building part. In my personal opinion, I think I'm mostly testing her with the Saucer team. I think Nefir does give me more reason to use Selena instead of Angela for a Saucer team. That means I can place, so that means the Guardian position is more flexible. Now I don't need to wait for a partner has already died to put Angela. That usually means I need to put Angela after the third or fourth spot to make sure like that there's any partner has already died, and then use Angela to get the most value of her. Selena can be a little bit early, and also Selena will hold on to like those huge damage spikes damage a little bit better, because sometimes Hachishi can still one-shot Angela if Angela doesn't have her death buff, but Hachishi will never be able to one-shot Selena. I think that's it. So in this video I'm also gonna try to use Selena in the arena and have some footage to look at. For the equipment, I think if you want to build her, then I think for the weapon I would go for Noir Never, because she deals too little damage, and therefore using Staff of Hope is probably a waste, and using other the Cursed Sword, I don't have that many copies of this Cursed Sword, and it's very hard to find a sorcerer to equip this. No, never, because and I think Nefir can be a perfect wearer of this weapon. For the boots, to reinforce the weapon effect, use Witch Dance boots to make her a silence machine. That's cool. And for the armor, I think either lava suit can be good. Like you have some effective res, you might be able to avoid that stun, or avoid that rage reduction, or avoid that curse. If you avoid anything that's gonna be helpful and pretty important to her, like if she's in a stunned place, she'll probably die. She'll not be able to swap the HP, and you will not get a cheesy moment. The other choice is this one. This other armor increase her rage whenever the attacks like 50% chance to increase rage, and that's gonna increase her rage regeneration and potentially give you the chance of casting the unique skill sooner than when you die. So you get the chance to swap the HP and make that cheesy kill. And for the accessory, I think there are two choices. For the Phoenix eyeglasses, it's going to be very good for her to use the special skill to heal more, and then stay alive for a little bit longer, and also heal the leader. The other choice would be using where is it? This one, Jeweled Hairband, and so immune to stun effect. This is because also again, like increasing attack on her doesn't really benefit too much, and this gives some survivability plus immune to stun effect. This will make her counter the Hachishiki pretty hard. Not too hard, like Hachishiki still deals a lot of damage, but it's gonna counter Hachishiki and not get stunned, and still be able to use her own skill, and that's gonna be valuable to her as well. So I think those are my opinion on her gear choices. Alright, so let me talk about her strengths and weakness in some of the game modes. In the arena, I think her strength is that when you're doing, like if you are forced to manual fight somebody, using Nefir is gonna guarantee, like you can guarantee the moment to use her. Like whenever you find when you have a low HP percent and the enemy has a high HP percent, and then just target, then you swap and kill instantly. You don't even need like 6-star to kill. You just use 3-star. 3-star, you already have the 160% damage, and you have the swap, you have the death immunity. You can do that. Otherwise, I don't think she's going to make your team much stronger than Phenibus. They're all fine choices. They don't matter too much, I think. But for Tencent, she can be helpful. So if you think about like you will not die because of damage, and you also grant your ally death resistance. If that happens in the Tencents, and if that happens for single target damage, that means you're probably gonna recharge a partner's rage bar to a full rage. Then their partner gets to use their skill, and also if your partner are very low on HP, then she can swap the HP and instantly kill the enemy. And also she does counter a little bit of the healing effects. So if you're meeting those very annoying Anna is not going to deal a lot of damage, and but Nefir is going to be able to, like, I think the 30% is just about enough to make sure Anna doesn't always heal back to full HP. Then you slowly get a chance of killing Anna. That's my understanding. So let's try to take some look at my footage. I don't know if I have very good ones, so I'm gonna just try a bunch of things here, and if they don't work very well, I will use some of my past clips. Alright, let's try this one. They had plenty of advantages by using Kasumi at the right time. And my leader is doing pretty well by using the invincibility skill. Now it's a good chance for swapping HP and kill that, but still that won't help too much because you cannot actually heal your ally when they're on the curse. That's one very important thing. Actually, Fanabas counters Nefir. If you have Nefir, you want to swap the HP, and if the ally is under curse, then you will only reduce enemy HP but not healing your allies. Alright, let's try another one. Pretty bad, and they're gonna kill my units. Looking really bad. Their skill leader didn't use invincibility, but my leader used invincibility. So funny. Alright, this is a very bad moment to use her. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, in this fight, Nefir did nothing. It does prove like she is pretty situational. Let's watch one more. So my idea here is that I'm gonna use Phoebe here. Phoebe because Phoebe will be placed in mid lane. So now we use Selena. Selena has a new UR gear, so Selena will shield the whole root column, which can be pretty strong. And I hope that they leave until the day when Nefir comes. But I do admit that Nefier's position in Saucer team is pretty awkward. Like the place you like to maximize her chance of success is pretty awkward for like placing her. Like those are also golden places for other partners. But we did do a pretty good job of protecting Phoebe. Phoebe is still alive. Yeah. No, yeah. She's killed Miyuki. So Nefir does have healing potential. But that's only gonna be just one partner. And you see here, like, Nefir doesn't have a whole lot of base HP. After getting hit by enemy Phoebe, she and I think another partner, I don't remember, lower, like Yuffie, they're at like a similar HP percent. So she's not definitely not like strong in the surviving part. Well, what I mean is she's definitely not like super high HP or super high defense. Let's watch this last one. It seems their gaming is not orange, so maybe they did not kill on my Anna. You see Angela is still pretty strong, so using Selena is not without the downside. But luckily we're just so much stronger than enemy team, so win this. So next I want to show you some footage from Tencent. I was lucky today to get #1 again, but I used Nefir here on the second team. So let's take a look at this one. And I probably just had more level or better gear than enemy. Was able to survive their Miyuki and still went until to the third team. I'm still on my first team. and they're on the verge of dying, but their Anna is here. The Anna is probably this carrier for this game. Oh, they didn't swap any HP. And see, up until this point, Anna can heal herself to 4 HP. And this as well. Now the healing is reduced. She cannot heal to 4 HP. Right, that's how I won that. But also still, like, Nefir is not the key decider here. If you want to achieve that effect, you need at least another partner to do damage to kill the Anna. Otherwise, I think Anna versus Nefir 1v1 is still Anna will win. Or at least both will not die and Anna will have more HP and Anna will win. To achieve that, you need another damage dealer. I think that's it for this video. My recommendation for Nefir is that she is definitely a situational partner, and she can achieve effects that no others can. So we are not sure if in the future whether there will be an like PvE content that there is a super tanky partner in there. You cannot do anything to that unless you use Nefir to swap the HP and kill that, and that's one way. Another thing would be if you're trying to do the stall team. I think maybe she works very well, but I think like not a lot of people will do that. It doesn't help progressing the game, in my opinion, in PvE content. And if you want to pull for her, go for her. At least one copy. I think she doesn't provide too much increase. Like the skill upgrade are not too much for the lens upgrade. But also keep in mind that each more star will give you much more stats boost. Even if you're not going for this special effect, the stats boosts are going to make Nefir much stronger than like just 3 star. For me, I think I really love her character design. You see here I've changed her to my background. That's one reason to pull for her, right? If you want to pull for her, just go for it. If you really don't have selected tickets, feel free to skip her. It won't hurt you, especially if you're like a low spender. It definitely won't hurt your gameplay in the future. Alright, that's really just all of this video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.